Hi, my name is AJ. I live in San Francisco. I have been an entrepreneur for the last decade. I grew up in the UK but moved out to San Francisco in 2008 when I started a startup out here. The startup was acquired by Google about 4 years ago, and I've now left Google and I'm currently about to start my second startup. So the startup I started out here in San Francisco was called Scoopler. It was a real-time search engine. My co-founder and I were actually watching the 6 o'clock news when we both lived in the UK, and what we realized was that whenever these big news events happened, there were all these eyewitnesses that would see it, and wouldn't it be amazing if there was a way for these people to report the news in real time? And at the time, Twitter was becoming really big, and a lot of people were kind of tweeting about things when they saw it happen, like let's say they saw a celebrity, or they witnessed an earthquake, or they were at a football game. And what we realized was that all this great content wasn't really being surfaced very well. So we decided to create Scoopler in order to find all this amazing real-time news content and put it in one place. And we did it by using a search engine. So you would just search for something you were interested in, and we would show you all the most relevant photos, videos, even links that people were tweeting out about that piece of content or that search right now. I think what motivated me to do a startup was that having dabbled in startups at university, I worked on one startup for about a year while I was there, and having done a bunch of internships at much larger companies, I realized that the startup kind of way of doing things was really what worked well for me. I liked the idea of being in control of what I wanted to do. I liked the idea of being able to chase these big problems and having a big impact as a single person. And I also really liked the fact that I could apply all this stuff that I'd learned in doing a computer science degree to some interesting technological opportunities and problems. We really wanted to be based in San Francisco. That was where we knew we wanted to be located because that's where a lot of the innovation in consumer technology and internet companies was happening. It was also where we could be surrounded by great mentors, a great community of other founders and investors too. I absolutely love it here, but my family is just really far away. I think that was one of the big sacrifices of moving out to the US. I think the second thing was that obviously doing a startup straight out of university, you don't necessarily have that same early 20s experience that a lot of other people do. A lot of my friends, just started graduate jobs. They were surrounded by lots of other people that were doing the same thing. They had this great network of professionals. They would be going out every night and really enjoying their early 20s from that perspective. We spent most of our time coding on our website, and our weekends consisted of going out to a bar on Saturday night, and then once we got over a hangover on Sunday morning, we'd be straight back to work again. I have absolutely no regrets in the decision I made, and I think that even though there were a lot of sacrifices, it was an amazing experience. I mean, I would have never thought when I was 18 that I would be working in San Francisco 3 or 4 years later on a startup that I founded on my own, and that I would be exposed to all these amazing opportunities of living here. And also the fact that I got to do my own startup meant that I had to learn things really, really quickly, and that was really great because I became a jack of all trades. I started out as a computer scientist, but ended up getting experience in marketing and PR and hiring and managing finances, pitching to investors. It was just such a well-rounded experience. I honestly am so grateful for it. But what I think separates a successful entrepreneur from one that isn't successful is just the determination, especially when you fail. Like, failing happens a lot when you're an entrepreneur, and it's the people that walk away from that and learn from it and then come back and try again that tend to be successful. And if you give up too early, that tends to be a pretty good sign that it might not be the right thing for you. I think another important thing as well is just belief in what you're doing. If you have a product or an idea that you really care about, or a vision that you really want to execute on, it's that belief that keeps you going every day or into the late hours of the night.